Hi, this is Bill McGuire from Tutor One. I'm giving an introductory lesson today on use of the computer. It's definitely not for somebody who's experienced with the computer. It's definitely not for what they call geeks in the computer world, but maybe it's for you. It's also only for Windows users. I'm not experienced with the Apple, and if you are, then you're going to have to go elsewhere for help. The first thing we're going to talk about is the mouse. The mouse can come in various shapes, sizes, and weights, but most mouses have a button on the left, a button on the right, and a little thing in the middle which is called a scroll wheel. So that's one of the things we're going to be dealing with is terminal. Scroll wheel is a little thing in the middle that you can move through documents by moving it around. We'll get to that a little later. But first of all, we're going to talk about the left click. The left click is what you want to use when you access a program. So for example, I'm going to try and open up this file called WordPress. So I put the cursor over top of it, I double click on it, I double left click on it. It opens up WordPress. Okay, I want to shut that down. There's a little X up at the top left-hand corner. I press on the X, it closes. I'll go back to WordPress again, open it up by double left clicking. Again, there's a little button up here, a little negative sign. You hit that, it minimizes down to your menu bar. It minimizes the file WordPress. Now if you just go down to the menu bar, see I'm moving my mouse down here, move it down to here, click on it. Again, you're using your left click for most things here. You left click on it, it opens up again. Now you'll notice it's only on a part of the screen here. Now you see my mouse icon there. I put it on this top bar along here. Press down, I left click on it, hold it down, and I can move it around the screen. This can be convenient if I want to see more than one thing on the screen. Now I'm going to move it to the edge of this little window, and when I move it to the edge and just hold it there, you'll see a double arrow. Now if I again press down on my left click, hold it down, move it in, you can see that compresses the window that I'm looking at. A little bit more terminology. What I'm looking at here is a window. What I'm looking at here, the background, is called my desktop. So if somebody says open up a window on your desktop, they're talking about clicking on another file, clicking on another program, and opening up something on your desktop. Now you'll notice that it is now filling the full screen. That happened because I again left clicked on the middle button right here. I'm going to click on it again. It's going to shrink back to the size I originally had it. I can also go down to the bottom or to the top. Just move it to the very edge of the icon, and again I can stretch it up, I can stretch it down, I can change the size. Now I also can't see everything in it when I stretch it. For example, I'm going to really compress that thing by pushing it up. Now I can go to the bar on the right hand side, move it up, move it down, move it up, and I can see it. That's sort of inconvenient, so I'm going to go up to the middle again. I'm going to press that, and it's going to open up. Now, don't you be afraid to practice this because you can't really hurt anything. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to accidentally hit this little X here and close the file. As I said, this is the desktop we have here. On the desktop you can see various icons, and the shape of the icon means different things. So for example, we have these little folders here, and that's what they're called. They're called folders. Folders are used to contain files. So for example, I'll go inside this one called HostPapa. I'm going to do that by taking my mouse, placing it over top, using the left side of the mouse and double clicking on it. That opens it up. As you can see, there's more file folders. Well, I'm going to click on the one called eMarketing. Pardon me, I'm going to hover my mouse. I'm going to double click on it. Again, left click, and there's some files in there. Okay. Now I'm going to X and close that down. So I'm moving back and forth just by clicking on various things. Computers are pretty useful because you can have all sorts of useful programs on them. For example, here's a shortcut to Mavis Beacon. I'm going to double left click on it again, and it's going to slowly open up. I'm going to hit run, and we have my typing program which asks me if I want to do it in Spanish, which I don't really want to do, and that's pretty noisy, so I left. Don't be afraid of clicking on things. The very worst you can do is open up a program you don't want to look at. I say that talking about your desktop. We're going to get into computer safety on the internet in a different lesson. So what have we talked about here? We've talked about our mouse. We've talked about left-clicking our mouse. We've talked about opening up files with our mouse. We've talked about resizing windows. I'll just go over that again. To resize a window, let's open up Acrobat Professional. We're going to do it one more time. This will take a minute or two. And that's another thing to get used to. Sometimes your computer takes time to do things. You may have, it may not be that fast a computer. It may be an older computer. It may be trying to do too many things at once. Or sometimes little things mess up inside your computer and it just has to start over. Or it takes a long time doing things. That's generally not your fault. So give your computer time. Wait a few minutes after you click something to see if anything's happening. Right now, it looks like nothing's happened, but if you look down at the bottom, you'll see Acrobat Professional. It's opened up on my menu bar down at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to left-click on that, open it up. And it's not working really fast, but it is working. And by hitting the little box in the middle, that fills the whole screen. By hitting the little box in the middle again, that turns it into something where I can resize the window. This is a window now that Acrobat Professional has opened in. And you geeks excuse the terminology because I'm trying to help people that aren't used to these things. And up at the top of you'll see a menu that says File, Edit, View. We'll talk about that to do with other programs. Just for now, I'm going to hit on File, Open, and we're going to open up the file that says Transit Map, which shows a little map of the area where I live and the bus routes that get there very slowly. So, hitting the little button in the middle, up at the top, the little box, restores down. I can change it back and forth by going to the edge, moving it back, moving it forth. I can move it around by going up to the top, left-clicking on it, holding it down, left-clicking on the mouse button, holding it down, and moving it around and around and around. And I can close it down, and it's gone by hitting on that X. That's it for the left-click button. Just a little bit of lesson on the right-click button. I'm going to put my bar in the middle of my screen. I'm going to right-click. What happens is information comes up that allows me to do various things. So in the case of clicking in the middle of my desktop, it tells me things that I can do on my desktop. So I can arrange my icons by name. You'll see they shifted around. I can arrange my icons by size. Again, they shifted around. Arrange my icons by type. And again, they shifted around to do that. Down at the bottom is one called Properties. This is frequently useful, maybe not when you're starting out, but I'm going to click on that. On the desktop, it's very useful because you can change various things about your computer. Don't do this until you're a little bit more experienced, okay? And we'll probably talk about that in another lesson too. So that's the right-click button and the left-click button. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.